This top here, Yerushalmi Bikkurim in the article Oz B'Hadeshin, we're at Mamish the top of Tezba Marav, Utun and Vidui, which in the Vilna is on the Ches Amr Aleph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines at the top, Utun and Vidui. Both Ma'aseh Sheni and Bikkurim are told Vidui. The Mara says here, Hashem Elokecha. Akudu Meiser. Okay, that's Meiser. My Meiser says that it requires Vidui. That's the Manisa Marta. Bikkurim Minan Haran and Bikkurim as well. Kai the Mara Biyakov Baruch Hashem Elazar Hakodesh Elyon Memashma. The same, as we said yesterday, anything which is called Kodesh in this parasha is included in in all the concepts of the parsha, and therefore in beauty as well. But soon the onin, also onin, the ksiv of chati bani men, I did not eat from when I was onin from it. Agdu meiser, I know that's meiser. Mina bikurim nan, bikurim as well. Kaidem Rabbi Yaakov Achab b'shem Rabbi Lazar. Hakodesh hakodesh olim mamashma. And the hakodesh is the same in the parsha. We learned all these things. Rabbi Shimon Polig. All the things the Mishnah had said that Rabbi Shimon argues. Rabbi Shimon was matil oinain, and Rabbi Shimon was plated from Bikurim, from Biurim, sorry, etc. But he doesn't seem to argue by Vidui. Why not? So the Vidui Zekriya, because Vidui is not a status of the actual object, but rather it is a verbal declaration. And Shimon does not argue. He argues about meisim, which have to be done or cannot be done with the with Bikurim, but this is different. Nisa v'amarta. So because by Bikurim it says Vanisa v'amarta and Varchav vav hey, that there is a kriya which applies by Bikurim. So we assume the kriya of Yarta Vishmin Abayis, which is another form of kriya that can apply to Bikurim as well. Once we see that Bikurim is a verbal declaration, all verbiage, including the declaration of Vidui, can apply that as well. But the dvarim which are the things which are lemaisa, like the Yisrael, that there's no precedent that it should apply to Bikurim because it's not a verbal declaration. The Maisa, those Maisa could be unique to Maisa and not apply to Bikurim. Okay, so let's go to the next part of the Mishnah. So Kini Masnis, I'm not sure if there's an article, there's a header here or not. Yeah, there's a header, but Osin Kolshein, the answer Kolshein. There's a Mishnah, and of course, Rabbi Shimon argued. So it says, Gemara, Kini Masnis, this is the way to read a Mishnah. Osin Kolshein milocho b'Yerushalayim. That which says Ma'aseh Sheni Bikkurim, which went to Yerushalayim, it got mixed up, or Osin Taroivtam b'Kolshein. That's when we're adding in the words, B'locho Yerushalayim, you can't eat them in Yerushalayim. Well, actually, it says that. Osin Kolshein lecho b'Yerushalayim. So what are we arguing? We're adding here. Rabbi Shimon Matir. Rabbi Shimon Matir. Rabbi Shimon Matir should be here as well. Okay, the Koshi Lechav Yerushalayim and Rabbi Shimon's Matir. And then the Afla Zorim, Afla Behema, Rabbi Shimon Matir. Right, and then also Zorim, also Behema. It's also to feed the Bikurim, and Rabbi Shimon is matir Bikurim for Achilas Zorim, and Ma'aseh Sheni for Achilas Behema. The Mara says here V'of Rabbana Moedila, the Gra and Levi trying to take that out. Minma the Moisivlon, from that which he asked on them. So evidently this is a brisa. Ein atem moedim shemutarim luzarim shemutarim achilas behema. Don't you concede where it got mixed up out to Yerushalayim that it's mutar luzarim and it's mutar achilas behema. In other words, the Bikurim got mixed up mechulin outside Yerushalayim, it's mutar zorim, and if it's Ma'aser Sheni got mixed up mechulin outside Yerushalayim, then mutar achilas behema. So that's the case. Yesh mechitza achilas zorim, yesh mechitza achilas behema. If they, what difference does it make? Got mixed up Yerushalayim, since in Yerushalayim also they're also zorim, also behema. Then it's the davar she'ein lo matirin, and it should be batel just like when it's batel out to Yerushalayim. So when it enters Yerushalayim, why has it become also? What does the mechitza do in terms of status? If it's davar she'ein lo matirin, it's davar she'ein lo matirin, right? Which make no difference. So kashem she'em mechitza lezorim. It should say kashem she'em mechitza lezorim ule behema. Kach ein mechitza lachilas it should be inside behema adam bekohanim. That's the gra in both cases. So just like there's no mechitza in terms of the issa zaras of behema, it's considered davar she'ein ein lo matir. So also considered davar she'ein matir in terms of achilas meiser for adam and achilas kohanim. In terms of Bikurim, which is got mixed Yerushalayim. In other words, just like he argues in the Sefer, right? And it says, Uzarim afle behema b'shim matir. Also he argues in the Reish, and says, and therefore, it should be, we answer the Taroivus in Yerushalayim in the Reisha for Adam, it should be, and Kohanim, should be mutter as well. So, why you answer? So it should be mutter across the board. It's mutter. You're reminding me it's mutter outside Yerushalayim, but it's considered to be a tareves and davar she'ein lo matirin, and it's also zorim. The isla zorim and isla behema is bata right. So it's in Yerushalayim. This behema zorim should be bata. Then also when they're mixed up in get mixed up in chulin, it shows considered davar she'ein lo matir, and it should be bata barov. What's the difference between all these things? So Rabban, I mean, says no. In other words, basically, he's focusing his point. What does mechitza b'Yerushalayim do? Rabban answer. Rabban, I mean, Yerushalayim also sukkah davar sheyesh lo matirin. Rabbanan say that it's considered davar sheyesh lo matirin because you can eat the entire tarevis with Lushas Ma'aser Sheni Bikurim Yerushalayim. Okay? In other words, yes, it's true that the Ma'aser Sheni Bikurim might not fall off tarevis, so it's not going to become mutter in this way. The davar sheyesh lo matirin because mutter, say if something is also because of yontiv, it's going to become mutter after yontiv, like Beit Shnol to be yontiv. It's not going to become mutter in that way. It's not a standard davar sheyesh lo matirin. It's not going to be something which mutter lachazman. But there's a way to eat it beheter, which is to eat it b'kedushas ma'aser, kedushas bikurim. Kedushas ma'aser l'chol adam, it's eaten by anybody. The Torah, kedushas bikurim, it'll be eaten by kohanim, right? So, k'gmatei davar sheyesh lo matirin oisa b'chol shein, just like a standard davar sheyesh lo matirin as asa b'chol shein, so to the kavasei Yerushalayim oisa b'chol shein. Even though it's not the same type of davar sheyesh lo matirin, they gave it a similar status. The status gave once it entered Yerushalayim, not out to Yerushalayim. Outside Yerushalayim, they're moida. It's bata rov. It can be mutter lezorim, mutter lebehema, whatever it is. The chilas what was that again? Ma'aser Sheni and chulin outside Yerushalayim is mutter chilas behema. Bikurim outside Yerushalayim is mutter lezorim. That we can see. That we can see. But Yerushalayim, we get all bets are off because we made Yerushalayim like a davar sheyesh lo matirin, and therefore in Yerushalayim just because a human being can eat it, or necessarily a Kohen can eat it, so therefore they asked for Zorim, the Tarovis with Bikurim, it asked for Behema, the Tarovis with Ma'aser Sheni. Now the next part of the Gemara is a long amended girsa from the Gra. It's taken from later on. It's moved from let me find it here. It's on the bottom Chesamot Bays in the Vilna, and from Yudain Amud Aleph in the Art Scroll. So that there's a whole section there. Starts at Omin Adah and ends the Gidulin Cain, which is taken out by the Gra and slightly changed and put in by the Gra over here in the Gemara here. And the first Gemara starts mapping on Shim Rabbanan. What's Shim Rabbanan's machlekes begidulin, by the growth from the Tarobis. But the Avabir Eruvin, but the initial Tarobis of Ma'aser Sheni and Bikurim, Ben Chulin Yerushalayim, of Rabbi Shimon, after Rabbi Shimon Moide, even Rabbi Shimon answers Bekoshu. Now he doesn't take the Davar Sheish Matin status Ad Kedei Kach. Let me actually excuse me. It doesn't say the Davar She'ein Lo Matir status Ad Kedei Kach. He says the Tarovis itself is Osir. And now the Gra puts in again from over there on Chesam base in the Vilna and Yud Zayin Amud Aleph in the article. Minadah. We learn from here. Be'eza Maisa Amru. By which Maisa did they say that Asur b'Tarovis? B'Maisa Sheni Torah Shenichas Yerushalayim v'Yotza. Maisa Sheni Torah which entered Yerushalayim and went out. It Asurs. V'od and further mean Hadah. From this, the time of Rabbi Shimon, for that Rabbi Shimon taught, Yesh Meiser, there is a status in Meiser. Meiser Oiser Domov, the Meiser asers its value, the Kankanov and its containers, Veiruvo and its mixtures. The suffix Eruvov, and if you have a suffix in its mixture, Bechoshu. It asks Bechoshu. So in this brayso we just quoted, Rabbi Shimon holds that Ma'aser Sheni Torah which entered Yerushalayim and went out. Since Yerushalayim was considered like a Davar Sheyesh L'Matirin because with Kushas Ma'aser. Then even afterwards, then if it leaves Yerushalayim, then it's not batal. But if the tarovis occurred before it entered Yerushalayim, then it's oila bechol me'meir. So Rabbi Shimon concedes that tarovis ma'aseh bikurim in Yerushalayim, asas b'choshu, and even if it leaves Yerushalayim. That's one brayso. And another brayso, this is Tosefta in Bikurim Berakav Halacha Yud. Brayso Yud, it says the Mei Ma'aser Sheni or Ma'aser Sheni itself, which got mixed up in Chulin Yerushalayim, and a kankan, which is a container which is required the Mei Ma'aser Sheni, or a suffix if it's in this Arab, asks the Tarot is Choshu. So Rabbi Shimon obviously holds Ma'aser Sheni, which gets mixed up in Chulin Yerushalayim, asks B'choshu. So in that case, Imar Shimon concedes. It's by Gidul in Tarovis itself when it got mixed up in Yerushalayim. It's only the Gidulim he argues, that which grows in that Tarovis. Now the Gemara continues, so back to our regular Girsa. Ma bein Eruven, ma bein Gidulim. What's interesting, Eruven Gidulim. Eruven be'ein on hein. The Eruven is be'ein, and therefore more macher be'ein. Gidulim kvar batlu. They're already negated by virtue of the fact that they are sown in the ground, the batel gabe karka. Therefore, even if Shimon in that case, if Shimon holds their batel. Now it says kema here. The Rashi will change that to, and Levi change it to b'ma. B'ma Rabbi Shimon Rabbanan be'uve meiser. But you know where does Rabbi Shimon concede Rabbanan that the Rebbe is kosher as in Yerushalayim? Some Ma'aser Sheni gets in Yerushalayim. Ava beruve Bikurim, but if Bikurim got mixed in Yerushalayim, it's not going to the point. There Rabbi Shimon holds a batel, and it's like the Gidulin themselves. B'chein Rabbi Shimon, Omer. This is what Rabbi Shimon said. Ein Bikurim oises erveim Gidulim milcham Yerushalayim. The Bikurim did not answer the Taroibes, and they're certainly not the Gedulim to Yerushalayim. So why was he macher by Meiser and maker by Bikurim? Ma ben Meiser, ma ben Bikurim. Meiser ein lo aliyah. Meiser Sheni, there's no obligation to take off a sa'ah from the Taroibes corresponding to the sa'ah which got mixed up. and therefore it's as if the Meiser Sheni is still is still be'ein in the Taroives. So therefore, Asas b'choshu. As a Bikurim yeshlim aliyah, but by Bikurim it's like truma. You have to remove one from the Taroives to give it to the Kohen because the Gezla shave it. So therefore, it's as if the Bikurim is no longer in the Taroives, and therefore it's batel. So even though that's a ki'ilu, it's as if that's the one which came out. Nevertheless, that's enough that we're not going to answer the Taroives. Okay, so again, Rabbi Shimon comes out. Shimon is more machmir by Meiser than he is by Bikurim. By Bikurim, even the Taroivis itself is batel, not just a gidulim. By the Meiser, it is the Taroiv itself in Yerushalmi is also because you're not mal one that you can say, oh, this is the one which fell in, which is also now it's no longer there, and therefore he was moided there that the Taroiv is also in Yerushalmi. You have to eat the entire mixture if it's Meiser Sheni. Only gidulim, he says, it's batel and you don't have to. It's you don't have to eat b'kedushas Meiser Sheni. Okay, that brings us to the bottom of base, but the story goes on a bit. Having just a little bit, have a mad Rabbi Shimon made Rabbanan b'davar she'en lo aliyah. So where does Rabbi Shimon concede Rabbanan by davar she'en lo aliyah? Okay, that's true. Now the question is, what happens with that thing which you picked up, though? What's the status of that thing which you picked up? So, that's what we should take out of the Meah, that's of the Bikurim. That even though again it's just arbitrary, it's not really the Bikurim which fell in, but nevertheless you have tree like Bikurim. Shituna mechitza, it's got to be in Yerushalayim utuuna, and it should be instead it says Hanoya, but it's supposed to be according to the Gra and Yerushalayim Hava. That's to be brought to Yerushalayim because it has to be Bikurim. We give it to the Kohen. Rabbanan say Kulon, even those that you didn't malo. Yeah, you do have to malo one because it's just like Truma. But since they're shita base, they have to be machmer entire Tarovis. It can be eaten in Yerushalayim by Kohen. Kulon tunas mechitza or tunas hava. Okay, so therefore it's granted. He's supposed to pick up one and give it to the Kohen as the Bikurim, but all of them have to be in the status of Bikurim by Kohanim. I guess you don't have to actually, you have to give it, you don't have to be the base of Mikdash, I guess, maybe you just give it to a Kohen, but it has to be as if it's, as Bikurim, because that's what they said. That has to be, not sure again, whether you have to give it to the Kohen or not. No, you have to give it to the Kohen, only the Kohen can eat it. Not sure if it has to be brought into the base of Mikdash with a Hava. That sounds like it does sound like you do have to. Slave Yerushalayim does bring down that you have to treat them as mamish bikurim, and the question is, Adarabba, how can you bring in the ones? How can you bring in the whole mixture to the Azara? You mean chulin la Azara? Because it's not only part of it's actually bikurim. The Yerushalmi, the rest of it, or whatever is still mixed in there. So the bikurim to Azara, whatever is not the original bikurim. So basically, I'm going to Basar, pay alpha and base. In terms of Safik Bikurim, you makdish it, and then you point it. So then it's hektish when you bring it into Azara. But after that, you do have to treat all as hektish, all as Bikurim, bring it into Azara, and then afterwards you redeem the part which is not actually Bikurim, but still has to be in the Kedushas Bikurim anyway. Okay, in any event, sounds like you have to bring the whole thing into Azara. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's what seems to be the case. The article brings down here an opinion that you have to bring the entire Tarovis up to Yerushalayim, the Tarovis will be the Chulin. But then when you get to Yerushalayim, you only have to give the Kohanim the part which you took out, the one of the Tarovis, and that only that is also the Zorim. The rest of the Tarovis is tracked to the by them. It can be eaten by them or by other Zorim in Yerushalayim, but it does have to be eaten. So this it doesn't know how it has Bikurim. It's not all Asa Zarim. It just has to be in Yerushalayim. Okay, it says to look before and Tesman Bays are 5, but I'm not sure exactly that clarifies the matter. I looked there; it doesn't really clarify any. It definitively seems that the Achronim have this discussion. What exactly happens to it, and it's kind of up for grabs. I guess according to Gross Gear, so it seems to read Baz, because which is read Baz Gear as well. It seems that all of it has to be brought Havah has to be brought to the base of Mikdash and given as Bikurim to the Kohanim. Okay, we'll stop here.